We still have more to cover! Ah! Hi everyone and welcome back. This is the same exact day that I recorded my reaction to Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons. I'm in the same outfit. The only thing that happened is that I put my hair up a little bit because my hair was getting gross. So there is still so much to cover with the Guild Wars 2 8th anniversary stream. Of course, the anecdotal developer stories and stuff is fantastic, very entertaining. I highly recommend you guys go back and watch it for those. But there were two other pieces of information that are worthy of making a video on. So this video is going to be going over the two pieces of information that were not the expansion reveal. Highly recommend you go check that out. I'll put a card up here. It'll be at the end screen. And I'm still kind of like really energetic and pumped up about that. So it's gonna keep going for a couple days or so. But nevertheless, let's go over the two pieces of information that also came, two pretty big ones. First and foremost, the biggest piece of news that has emerged, and it affects not only Guild Wars 2's community, but the general community surrounding MMOs, this being Guild Wars 2 is finally coming to the Steam platform, allowing people to easily and conveniently buy Guild Wars 2 on Steam and use it there and have it launched through their Steam application. Now, some people were a little concerned or angry and upset that their account won't transfer over. Of course, it's a little iffy and a little like, but quite honestly, this whole transfer and accessibility on Steam isn't for the veterans, it's for the new players. If you still want to launch Guild Wars 2 through Steam, you can still do that. You can still go through your, like, I've never done this per se, so I'm not extremely knowledgeable, but I know it's able to be done. Through your applications, you can set a game to launch through Steam. So if you're looking for that accessibility, you have it already. You can do it now. But this move to Steam is, in my opinion, the way I look at it, primarily for the invigoration and wider audience for Guild Wars 2, the potential to garner new players who might otherwise not ever go to www.guildwars2.com. By having it on Steam, it's not only a method for you to purchase and just have all your games there, it's a great advertising platform because people are always on Steam searching through just the catalogs of games. And Guild Wars 2 is already a pretty well-known game, so it'll have its backing. It's not like it's some indie game lost in the millions of pages of game advertisements and games on Steam. It'll probably be up there with Elder Scrolls Online, Terra. Rift was on there, but I think Rift kind of, dropped down a little bit. But so on and so forth. It'll probably be a major figure within the MMO subcategory on Steam. This is coming in November, so we still have to wait 2 months or so until Guild Wars 2 fully launches on Steam, where new players can access Steam. Or if you really want, you can purchase the expansions and Guild Wars 2 through Steam if you don't have the expansions already and you're looking to get back in. Quite honestly, I think this is a good move. Star Wars: The Old Republic had launched through Steam. It's always great having games accessible on different platforms where you might have a better chance of getting new players, and once again, players who would otherwise never type in www.guildwars2.com. Yeah, so this is currently the Steam website for Guild Wars 2. It's not currently active. It'll be accessible November 2020. And it gives a little blurb. Guild Wars 2 is an online role-playing game with fast-paced action combat, a rich and detailed universe of stories, awe-inspiring landscapes to explore, 2 challenging player versus player modes, and no subscription fees. It's always a great selling point. Of course, some categories. I'm not currently signed in on Steam. But yeah, it gives some other information about the game, recommended settings, so on and so forth. Next point of news for this, I guess, news roundup is the Fractals. The Fractals, and by Fractals I mean the new Fractal coming September 15th, I believe they said. So this new fractal does take place in Cantha. So we're probably going to be able to see a couple Cantha assets that might be in Guild Wars 2 End of Dragons. I'm still getting used to that name, but it'll be very exciting. It does seem to be really interesting from the concept art that they gave. I love it. I love the humor within the concept art. It gives you a sense of where you'll be going. It's said to be very challenging, and it does have a challenge mode, which I think will be great content for people who are looking for, as I said, an extra challenge. In all, for the new Fractal I believe I'm saying that right, Sunquay Peak, I actually have not played factions, so I'm not super familiar with this area. I don't have pre-existing ties to the area. However, I'm more than excited, more than happy to explore, of course, Cantha. Maybe see a couple assets, of course, you know, wink wink, hopefully some music as well. And there is going to be some story that, of course, that they've made for the Fractal. I think they've remarked that there's going to be like some background story and lore for people to use or utilize background story to help guide themselves, and then the Fractal itself would further story along. I'm not sure where this takes place in the time frame, if this is going to be back hundreds of years in the future during the era of End of Dragons. That all will have to come with time, and we'll see how it all works out. But in all, this new challenging Fractal will be just the thing that people need to kind of latch onto something. I'm not a Fractal person myself in terms of grinding to the top max level of Fractals, especially with Agony Resistance. I'm not a huge fan of that system. I appreciate it and I'll work towards it slowly, but I'm not biting at the bit to get to it, if that makes sense. But this is very much welcomed. More endgame stuff. I would love if they did more dungeons. I guess the dungeons are fractals, but I would love if they continue to do more fractals, more instanced story, like narrative fractals. I would love to have a raid wing, not just a single raid, but of course the raid wing in general. But not getting ahead of myself or ourselves collectively, it's nice to just get something. And then of course we have today's update with the skimmer mastery and the underwater skimmer adventure. And I'm not exactly sure what you need to do to get the skimmer stuff, but I'm going to be playing it right after I edit and make this video. But that is all the news, all the remaining news from the stream. We got Steam coming November, and we have a new Fractal coming September 15th, Sunquay Peak, which is Cantha themed. So thank you guys so much for dropping by. I really appreciate you guys. All my links are down below. Like if you've looked at, comment down below your thoughts on the news. How do you feel about Steam? Do you think it's a smart move? As an existing veteran, do you care at all? Are you really mad? Are you really mad that it's coming to Steam? And how do you feel about the teased concept art of Sunquay Peak and what they've said about it? I'd love to hear, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone!